Hello, cat lover. Let me tell you something about your cat and about your heart. There's a moment in every cat parent's life that we never want to face. The moment when their paw doesn't reach out like it used to. When the spark in their eyes starts to dim. When silence replaces the little sounds that once filled your home with warmth. If you've ever loved a cat deeply, you know, they're not just pets. They're a rhythm in your daily life. They're the warmth at your feet, the shadow that follows you from room to room, the quiet soul who understood you, even when no one else did. But cats are also masters of hiding pain. They suffer in silence, slipping away gently, sometimes before we even realize what's happening. This video isn't meant to hurt you. It's here to help you recognize the quiet signs, the unspoken goodbyes. We'll walk through 10 subtle ways your cat may be telling you their time is near, or that they need urgent care before it's too late. And if you've already said goodbye to your furry companion, I invite you to share their name in the comments below. Let this be a space where your love lives on, where your grief is understood. So find a quiet moment, take a breath, and let's walk gently through this together. Have you ever noticed a change in the way your cat smells? Usually, cats have a clean, neutral scent, something comforting, soft, and familiar. But when something inside begins to fail, that scent can shift to something sweet, sharp, or strangely sour. Some describe it as metallic, others as a smell they just can't explain, only that it feels wrong. It might be subtle at first, but this change often signals that organs are struggling, especially in senior cats. The body begins to release chemicals it normally keeps in check, and your cat, who once smelled like sun-warmed fur, might now carry a scent of warning. This isn't just about odor, it's your cat's body speaking to you, quietly, biologically, saying, "I'm not okay." If you notice this change, don't wait. It doesn't always mean the end, but it does mean something is happening. A trip to the vet could make all the difference, whether it's to find treatment or simply offer comfort in time. Because sometimes the first goodbye isn't a sound or a gesture. It's something you feel when you breathe them in. You've always known your cat to be a little sleepy. That's part of their charm. Those lazy stretches, the midday naps in sunlit corners. But now, it feels different. They sleep longer. They don't get up to greet you like they used to. The zoomies are gone. The spark is quieter. This isn't just normal aging. It could be pain, exhaustion, or their body slowly winding down. Cats sleep a lot, yes, but healthy cats sleep with purpose. They recharge, then play, eat, explore, but a cat nearing the end might sleep out of fatigue or to escape discomfort. It's not rest anymore, it's retreat. Arthritis is common in older cats, and the pain can quietly steal their energy. Sometimes it's illness, sometimes something deeper, but always it's a sign to pause and look closer. Don't assume it's just age. If your cat spends most of the day withdrawn in sleep, talk to your vet. A soft blanket can comfort them, but your attention might just save them, because in their silence, they may be whispering, "I'm tired, and I need help." Your cat was always so elegant, wasn't she? The way she would pause in a beam of sunlight to groom, meticulously licking each paw, smoothing her fur like a quiet ritual of dignity. But now, her coat looks a little different, maybe duller, maybe matted, maybe it smells off or feels greasy when you run your fingers through it. This isn't laziness. It's not age being just age. It's her telling you something is wrong without saying a word. Grooming is survival for a cat. It keeps them clean, comforted, in control. So when they stop, it's one of the clearest whispers that their body or their spirit is struggling. Pain, nausea, exhaustion. All of these can make grooming feel like too much, especially in older cats or those hiding a deeper illness. You might also notice something else: a distant look, a slow blink, a sense that they're withdrawing, even from themselves. That's when it's time to lean in with love. Brush them gently, speak softly, let them know they're still beautiful, still loved, even if they can't care for themselves the way they used to. Because what they need now is your tenderness. You've held your cat 100 times. You know the feeling of their weight in your arms, the gentle pressure of trust. But one day, something shifts. You lift them, and it feels lighter, too light, almost as if they're fading. Weight loss in cats is easy to miss, especially with all that fur. They may still look fine on the outside until you run your hand along their spine and feel bone where there used to be softness. It's subtle. It's quiet. But it's serious. Thin or unexplained weight loss is one of the strongest signs that your cat's body is fighting something. Sometimes it's dental pain, sometimes kidney failure, sometimes cancer, and sometimes it's simply the body letting go. You may notice them walking slower, resting more. They might still purr when you pet them because that's who they are. Loyal, loving, even when they're weak. But purring doesn't mean they're okay. Cats purr to comfort themselves too, so don't wait. If your cat feels thinner than they used to, if their fur hangs a little looser, if you sense something hollow in their weight, that's your moment, your signal to call the vet, to ask questions, to act with love, because catching it early might buy more time. And if not, it might help you prepare for the kindest goodbye. It starts with a bowl left untouched, then maybe two, and then the sound of kibble being poured doesn't make them come running anymore. At first, you might think they're just full, or being picky, but inside, something might be shifting. When a cat stops eating, they're not just skipping dinner. They're telling you, with heartbreaking honesty, that something is off. Sometimes it's physical, nausea, dental pain, kidney trouble, cancer. Other times, it's emotional, confusion, disorientation, even depression and old age. And what hurts the most is watching them walk up to the bowl, sniff it, then quietly walk away, as if food no longer matters, as if they've begun letting go. But don't panic yet. Sometimes loss of appetite is reversible. Sometimes it's a reaction to something treatable, and your vet can help restore what's been lost. So, notice the pattern. Have they stopped eating wet food too? Stopped drinking? Is their weight dropping alongside their interest? Trust your instincts. You've known them for years. You know when something just isn't right. And if the end is nearing, then what they need most is your presence. A soft blanket, a warm hand near the bowl, your voice, your love. Because even if they can't eat, they can still feel that they are not alone. Have you noticed lately they don't curl up at your feet anymore? That cozy spot on the couch stays empty. They don't come greet you when you get home. And when you go looking, you find them in places they never used to go. Under the bed, behind the curtain, in the quiet shadows. This isn't just independence. It's not a bad mood. It's instinct, deep, ancient, woven into their bones. You see, in the wild, a cat that feels vulnerable, a cat that's sick or dying, hides. They seek solitude to stay safe, to protect themselves, to retreat into peace. So when your beloved companion begins to disappear into silence, you might feel helpless. But what they're saying is, I need quiet now. I need space. I need rest. And even though it hurts, we have to listen. That doesn't mean abandoning them. It means being near without crowding, letting them come to you if they can, and if they don't, just whisper from the hallway that you're still there, still loving them. Leave their favorite blanket in their hiding spot. Place a small bowl of water nearby. Let your voice be the comfort they retreat to when the world starts to dim, because even if they don't come running anymore, they still hear you, and they still love you, quietly from the shadows. Breathe in, breathe out. It's something we rarely notice until it changes. One day you might glance at your cat and see something you didn't expect. Their chest rising a little too fast, their sides moving with strain, a subtle rasp, or a moment when it seems like they pause, just to catch air. It's easy to miss, and even easier to explain away. Maybe they're just dreaming. Maybe they're warm. Maybe it's nothing. But then it happens again. Cats breathe in rhythm, soft, steady, and quiet. So when that rhythm stumbles, it's often a sign that something deeper is happening. It might be a heart issue, a fluid buildup, a growing tumor, or the lungs simply slowing down. This moment, watching your cat struggle to do something so simple, it's terrifying. But don't let fear silence you. Let it move you to kneel beside them, to listen, to count the breaths, to call your vet and say, something doesn't feel right. Because even if it's not the end, your attention might bring relief, comfort, or time. And if it is the beginning of goodbye, then your presence, your breath near theirs, becomes a final comfort they'll never forget. Stay close. Let your calm become their air. Let your love become their peace. They were always so clean, so precise, never once missing the litter box, as if even their habits were proud and dignified. But then one morning, you notice a spot on the rug, then the hallway, then a quiet accident near where they sleep, and your heart sinks. At first, maybe you feel confused, maybe even a little frustrated, but then you look at them and you realize they didn't mean to. They're not being bad, they're just losing control. Incontinence, weakness in the legs, pain when climbing in and out of the box, or simply the exhaustion of a body that's trying its best but can't anymore. When an older cat begins to avoid the litter box, it's not rebellion, it's surrender, and it's heartbreaking. Not because of the mess, but because it's a quiet cry for help. What used to be easy now takes strength. What used to be natural now feels impossible. But this is your chance, not to correct, but to comfort, not to scold, but to support. Place a low-sided box nearby. Add an extra one close to where they sleep. Keep it clean, keep it close, and meet their struggle with softness. Because dignity is still possible, even now. And love isn't just about holding on to who they were. It's about meeting who they are with kindness. You've done everything. The vet visits, the special food, the fluids, the pills, the hope. And for a while it worked. They bounced back, maybe not fully, but enough for one more cuddle, one more quiet morning together. But now, even with the medicine, they're slipping. They still purr. They still look at you with love. But their body, it's tired. And deep down, though you don't want to admit it, you can feel the difference. This isn't laziness. It's not a bad day. It's the moment when care becomes comfort, when fixing gives way to holding. And it's okay to feel helpless here, because sometimes there's nothing more to be done except to love them all the way through. Talk to your vet. Ask the hard questions, not because you're giving up, but because you're choosing peace. For them, for you. This might be the chapter where medicine steps back and presence steps in. You can still be their shelter, their softness, their goodbye that doesn't feel like a goodbye, but like home. You call their name. You shake the toy they used to chase. You open the window to let the sun in, but they don't come. They just lie there, still. Eyes open, but far away. This is more than just tired. It's a quiet pulling back from the world. The toys, the games, the warm spots they used to race to, they no longer matter. They're not angry, not distant, just drifting. In these moments, it can feel like they're slipping through your hands, like the life you knew together is slowly dimming. One breath, one blink at a time. But here's what matters. They're not letting go because they stopped loving you. They're letting go because they trust you to hold on. To the memories, the silly head bumps, the paw on your chest, the mornings they waited by the door. And maybe you're not ready. No one ever really is. But if your cat, your friend, your family has started to turn inward, to gently retreat, let your love speak louder than your fear. Sit beside them. No words, just presence, just peace. And if you've been through this already, if you've said goodbye once before, maybe there's a moment that still stays with you. A final glance, a soft purr, a silence that said more than any meow ever could. If you feel ready, share that memory below. Someone else grieving quietly tonight might read your story and feel just a little less alone. Because this space, this channel, is for you. And for every cat who ever whispered goodbye without ever needing to say a word.